Welcome back everyone. This is good news regarding this model. This is video number 1. I'm not doing my usual story where I go through pictures and things showing what the model is. A lot of people that know me and know the kits that I'm building will know what this is, and it's model number 8 on my list, and that is the Battlestar Galactica from the new series, the 2004 series, one in 1930 scale and length 75 centimeters. What I want to do over here is, this is the first kit out the molds, and I want to show you guys the main sections, the basic idea how it goes together. I'm not going to do that now because it needs to be prepped still, and then I'm going to show you guys how to actually what to sand down, where the seam lines are, to make fitting easier. So what I'll do is I'm going to go from the front to the rear. Okay, so front section. Okay, you got your head consisting of 2 parts. Okay, all the small little sections, the printed parts and the armor plating, I'll do in a separate video. This is basically just the main body sections. Okay, I'm hoping, because I haven't built the model yet, that it will be easy to clip together and screw together with minimal glue. The model is designed to disassemble and add lighting, or if you want to transport it, to pack it into a box very easily. Okay, so I'm hoping that it comes out the way that I planned. It's been a year in the making, designing stage as well, and then the casting. I was very happy with the molds. They came out very well. Minimal bubbles, but I use pressure casting, so there shouldn't be any either. Okay, so let me get on with it so this video isn't dragged out too long. So your head section is 2 sections. Okay, what I did was I fill up the front gap to make the molding easier. Okay, and all of this has got a single coat of grey primer. So this is not the color, this is the color, white. Okay, so what you need to do on this front section is sand this flat, so this is open. Got an open gap where the nose section fits into the detailed section. Okay, and then what I'd suggest as well is give everything grey primer first before you do this, because then you can see all the issues and you can see the seam lines a lot easier. Now I try to make the seam lines as invisible as possible. Obviously the drain pipes and fill holes I could not, so on this one, that's your fill hole, you've got 2 drain holes, and this has to be smoothed down so it fits into the gap on the head. Okay, you see there's still little nubs over here from the supports from the mold. Just sand them down if you want it, but this all gets covered up anyway by armor plating. Okay, on all these main sections I made the seam just below the guns, the small guns along the edge. Okay, so you want to carefully, without sanding down the guns, I actually cannot even see it on this one, the seam line, so I'm quite happy with that. Okay, as I said, the bottom of here I have not painted, so it looks okay, but the main thing is these three areas, and the reason for that is it needs to fit into this gap. Now on the main head, exactly the same. You'll see there is a slight line along the edge over here which you need to sand down. Sand down carefully. You do not want to sand down detail, because it's highly detailed. This model is built from the TV series file. So what you see here is what was seen on TV, or not seen on TV, because this detail wasn't always visible on screen, all of it. So you're actually getting a higher detailed model than what was seen on screen. So on this one, here's your fill hole, and then here's your 2 drain holes. Okay, and then along the edge is your seam, you can see it. Okay, on this one, very important is you got these 2 big pieces of resin that was unavoidable with the casting process. So you need to use a Dremel and cut this off here and cut it off over here along the line. Okay, because this needs to slot in. Okay, this can be either glued in, or it can, well, I mean, I probably glued in as a permanent piece. Okay, so that's a head section, very simple. Okay, next will be your jaw, which which is this piece. Okay, same thing there, and then you got 4 holes for drainage, and then you can see the seam line. It runs along the bottom of the weapons, small guns. Okay, so this one doesn't need a lot of cleanup, luckily. Okay. Next up is your. Let's go for the spine. So you got your front spine section, which goes behind the head, and you have to see on the head. This bit actually goes over there where it gets screwed in. Okay. So that's the way it goes together. Alrighty, so on this section it was filled up from this side, so no, I'm talking rubbish, filled up from this side. So there's your air vents, and then your main fill. Okay, and over here as well. Okay, and then look for the seam along the edge as per usual, as I explained, and then you can see the seam line runs around the bottom section. Okay, then you got your let me get this out of the way. Then you got your middle section. I'll get back, and once again let me bring this back. This section goes into that section, and then it gets screwed in. Okay, I'll explain more in detail once I actually have everything sanded down, how it fits together. Okay, so this section exactly the same as the rest, and you'll look for a seam line. You can actually see it, hopefully you can, on the edge. Okay, you can see the seam line running along here. Oh, yeah, it's quite clear. Okay, so that can just be pulled off, but sanded down. Okay, and then the part behind that is this section, exactly the same. It goes like that, and then 2 screws. Okay, so here a little bit more complex. It was filled up from this side. So here's a large fill section. This must be grounded off with your Dremel or similar, and then your drainage pipes. And you can see over here along the edge, see this edge. Okay, that can just be pulled off, sanded down. Okay, so you have all your ribs sticking out. If you find a rib that's missing, you can use a putty, like milliput I use. You stick it on there and you sand it down, but there shouldn't be any missing. Okay, let's move on to the, let's go down to the bottom. So then you got your belly section, your front belly section. Okay, this is basically the platform that everything sits on. So you got your front section and your rear section. Okay, and you'll see, as with all the rest, along the edge you see the line. There's your fill hole. Okay, this one over here, fill holes, sorry, drainage holes, and then along the edge, and the back very minimal. So the idea of this is basically slides in, locks in. Okay, but I cannot go in now because it's not sanded down. And everything sits on top of it. So then your rear section, or between the engines, is this one. Okay, and just around the edge you can see very clearly the drainage and fill holes. Okay, around the edge over here. Okay, this is my file actually, which I use mostly. It's rounded on one side and actually works quite well for sanding. Okay, with a round section. Okay, and then you got your lower rear side, not side but bottom rear, between the lower engines, and as well you can see the line running around. Okay, so you can see over here is actually a bubble. I didn't actually notice that, but that does not matter because it's hidden. Okay, so here's more plastic from the seam. Okay, that goes those around. Okay, then you've got your top engines, these two. Here's your full hole on top, and then your seam not even visible. Very surprised. Okay, if you do see a seam, sand it down. Okay, here we go. Okay, around the edge. Okay, so quite nice. Then you've got your lower engines. Sorry that I'm leaning back all the time, but there's not enough place on the table. So a lot of bits and pieces. The same, and paint coming off. And your seam line is up there and hardly visible. Okay, then you've got your between your engines, which are these sections. Okay, the focus is coming in there. Here we go. Okay, this one, okay, seam, I think the seam ran along this edge, so it's not visible. Okay, you've got full holes over there. Two of them, and then you've got you behind your head section, these two, and all I've got is just basically full holes. Okay, and then you've got your engine nozzles. I'll show you one of each. You got your small and your large. So the small one's the lower one around the tip at the back. Get focus in. Okay, over there. And same with this one, the larger one, the upper one. And then on the other side is your little pipes for filling and draining. Okay, so that came out very well as well. And then after that you have, let me bring this whole thing of mine. Like I said, there's a lot of parts on this kit. So this is all your pod sections. You've got your pod arms, 4 of them. They go in a specific way. Everything, or most of the parts, especially armor plating, has all got engravings on the bottom saying where it goes. Makes it a lot easier. But this you'll see at the bottom over here, around the edge. Okay, on one side, on all of them. Okay, and then your pod itself, front and rear. You'll see I'll leave this piece on, which must be pulled off obviously, and sanded around the edge very carefully. I'll leave this on for protection. Okay, you see over here along the edge, focus. I think it's focused. Let me just try and focus it. I think it's okay. So along this edge around where the screw goes in. Okay, and then obviously the entrance and the other side exactly the same. Just be careful, there is a platform, don't set the platform down. Okay, it goes up to, I think, this section. This is the front. Look at the images that I post to make sure you do not sand because the launch bays have a shelf, yeah, you can call it a shelf, but a platform sticking out the top and the bottom. Okay, so that being the front, this being the rear of the same part. Okay, obviously the back section is about folded up, so make sure you sand those down. So the rear section, exactly the same. You can see the line pretty clearly running along the bottom. Okay, and you can see the platform over here as well. Okay, running along here. So please do not sand this down. Look at the images, the renders that I've posted, even on my Facebook page and on the box account. Everything will be there. Okay, that's why I always say, look at the videos before you build. If you do not and you screw it up, then you're not going to have a complete model. Okay, the lower sections, exactly the same. Fill holes, drain holes, and then you can see it clearly over here. There's a platform at the lower, because here's all the launch tubes. So here is your shelf running along the bottom. Okay, I'll show it more clearly when I actually have the parts and they fit together. And then you have your rear section. Okay, the insides of the engines are clear resin. Okay, and this one has a fill and drain on the side. Okay, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so sand very lightly. Try not to sand your detail down. You can see around the edge of here is the seam. I'm hoping it's going to be an easy build. I expect it to be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sand everything down, and then I'll come back. I might not do the pods. I might just do the main body parts, sand them down, and then make sure they fit together, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how the main body parts fit together. And then next after that I'll probably do the pods, or I might leave them till the end. Okay, so it all depends on time, etc. But for now I hope that clarifies it. If you have any questions when you get to this point in the model, refer to the images or refer to me, message me. I'm here to help. Okay, I want you to have as nice a model as what I hope to have. Okay, so till the next video, which is hopefully soon. Have a nice day and thank you very much. Cheers.